Good morning, everyone. Today I have an organization for free job for you. It's closets, a storage closet, a children's closet, and a children's cabinet. Let's get started and see what we got. This is the storage cabinet. It is a little tiny cupboard that is underneath a set of stairs in the back of a closet. This was really hard to film because there was hardly any room for me. You can't even stand up in here. And I had to get the lighting and the camera in such a way that it could even film what I was doing. But anyway, the first thing I decided to do was, take inventory and see what all do we have in here. Turns out it's Christmas stuff and then a few other different holiday things, mostly Christmas and some scrapbooks, memento type stuff. And that box with the white lid is birthday stuff, decorations and whatnot. And then on top of that white box, I'm going to be putting the summer stuff and the stuff that the baby's going to be using soon because that's the easiest access and it's going to be the easiest to get to. The rest of the holiday stuff, I'm just going to stack it up as tall as it goes to utilize the most vertical space as possible. She is a really good declutterer. So basically, I was just trying to stack this stuff as good as possible to really sardine it in. And I noticed that if we had a table, a small table in there, we would be able to stack even more stuff. Okay, so I'm all the way up to the ceiling, so we're using good vertical space. And basically, I just pretty much stacked everything in categories. There's birthday, summer, Halloween, Christmas, and Easter. And then what we have left are just these photo albums and some Christmas wrapper in this plastic here. And I'm going to go get a table so we can use it for more vertical storage. Cute little desk she's not using right now, so we're just going to put it in here, and we're going to use it for vertical storage. This way it acts as kind of a shelf, so she'll be able to put things underneath it as well as on top of it. And then the Christmas paper I just put next to it. So this is kind of how it turned out. Tons of extra space gained. And this is the cabinet in the children's room. The left hand is all the adult books and the right hand has the kids' stuff in it. So I'm starting out just by taking everything out and I'm only going to concentrate on the left side first. I decided to take one of the shelves out because the books were tall and there were a lot of them and it would be easier to get them in and out if you could just slide them instead of having a big heavy pile on top of each other. So I went ahead and stored them vertically like this. There was also space at the end too, so you could always add more books. There was room for more if they have more to put there later. There are no sounds in these time-lapse parts of the video because when I record in time-lapse, it doesn't give me any sound. So sorry about that. I know, I love the sound, but sometimes it's easier to just film it in time-lapse instead of having to speed it up. So I was going to try and put another shelf on top of that shelf, but I realized once I got it in there that you wouldn't be able to fit anything on the top shelf anyway, so I just pulled it back out and stuck it in the closet on the top shelf for them to use for something else. Let me just tell you, it was a lot easier putting that shelf in than it was getting it back out. I saved you the trouble of having to watch me struggle with it. I took one of the shelves out because this way they can add to their collection. Like if they had to turn them sideways and stack them on top of each other, they could. But that top shelf wouldn't have really held anything. And I brought these really nice buckets, but they didn't fit. When you close the door wouldn't shut, so I couldn't use those. I always try to keep the original use of what the person was using the cupboard for in the first place so that it's not completely different and it still makes sense to them. See what we can come up with in here first. So I think what we're going to do first is find the floor, because then that way we can also see what all more we have to find things room for. I started out by just taking the big giant stuff out and then seeing kind of what was left. There were just a few little things on the floor that I hung up, and yeah, there were a lot of these flat things that fold flat. Like you open them up like pop tents and like a big thing that holds balls and stuff like that. So yeah, I put all that stuff behind the dresser so that when you first walk in, you don't see it all. Like you just saw me put that green one and then there's a table there. That way when you walk in, it doesn't feel claustrophobic that you're looking at a bunch of stuff right off the bat, and kind of hit it on the other side of the dresser. So it's kind of out of eyesight, all that stuff right there. So this is what all we're keeping in the closet. And I kind of like to work from left to right. So now we're working on the top of the closet. And that was a bag of little toys that go in that blue house. So I put them in a plastic shoebox so you could see right through it and know exactly what was in there. That little cat ear thing is like the top of the roof of that little house. Found some more art projects and some pull-ups. So we're just moving on to the next part. So since we moved some things and stacked some things, we had more room. So I'm just taking everything from the left and just moving it over. We're just going to leave this stuff up. She uses that for toy rotations. And now we get to move over even more. That red, white, and blue blanket I put in the holiday closet. Okay, this is what we're going to keep on the top shelf in the closet. The rest of this is completely empty. And then this box of clothes are clothes that she hasn't grown into yet, so that's going to go back up. I'm going to relocate this arts and crafts stuff into this cabinet. Remember I said I don't want to put anything else in here till I figure out what I'm going to find in the closet. That big giant box is already organized of art supplies. That big black bag had the balls in it that go in the little ball pit tent. And this is a box of paint. So I want to keep what's in the boxes in there, but I need to make sure that it all fits. I did lower that top shelf a little bit so I could fit everything. I did have to take the paints out of that big clear bin, and then I ended up just stacking them underneath the bin because they were too tall and would stick up too high if I had left them in there. There was a cute little clear tray that had a lot of paintbrushes in it, but they didn't fit. They kind of hung over the side. So I just put them in the big one, and then I just left the little sponges in the little clear one and stuck them right on there on top of the blocks. And there you have it. That's the final look. Just putting her little dress-up shoes away on the top of the dresser. I found the green ball. I found the green ball. Don't you just love how things magically appear? Cute little Barbie shoes. I ended up putting those in a little plastic bin on the top shelf. This is stuff that's too small for the 2-year-old, and this is stuff that's too small for the baby. We ended up getting rid of those boxes that were for too small clothes because those 2 big drawers right there that are part of that built-in desk, she's just going to use those for the 2 small clothes, and then when they get full, transfer them into a box. That way you don't have to look at the ugly cardboard boxes on the dresser the whole time. Okay, these are my stray items that I didn't know what to do with, so I'm asking her if she wants them or if not, or where they go, so that we can get this desk cleared off. Okay, here was the before of the closet, and this was the top of the closet before. Okay, here's the final satisfying view of the after shot of the closet, all nice and organized. Remember, we're disregarding those cardboard boxes. And this was the cabinets before. And then the top of the desk, all nice and clear. And the bookshelf and the art cabinet. Thank you so much for joining me on this free organization. I hope you found it useful, and I will see you in a few days. Bye.